Okay, so I've been having a problem with my trackball here, so we're going to replace it today. What I'm going to do is actually going to put in a lighted trackball because they actually make one. So I was having issues. This was working, not working, working, not working. Most likely it was the wire. But again, since they make a lighted version of this and I had to take it out, I figured, what the hell, let's make it a change. So while I'm taking it out, I thought I'd let you take a guys look, see what we got here. So, I talked about this before. I have on both joysticks here. You can see there's two little servos. These are the GRS gate changers. So what these do is when I press this button, it'll switch it to 8-way, 4-way automatically. And basically the little servos changes the gate 4, changes the gate 8. I'm going to show you some other mods that actually I did today. So I changed the springs. So the joysticks that came, these like little Sanwas or Sanwa fakes, the springs in them were about 1.5 pounds, and they were really soft, and they just felt cheap. So I bought 2 sets of springs. I bought a 2-pound spring and a 4-pound spring. I had the 2-pound springs in for about a month or two, and it made it better, but it still felt a little weak. I now switched it to the 4 pounds, and let me tell you, the 4 pounds make these nice and solid. They feel like real good joysticks. You need a little bit of pressure to move them. I just think they're so much better. We'll see. I'm going to use them for the next month or two, but I can tell you right now off the bat, they are way better than the standard 1.5 pound springs, which really I just hated it. It's Arcade 1-Up's been using them, and even though these aren't Arcade 1-Up joysticks, even the Sanwas and everything, they come with standard 1.5s, and they're just like cheap. They're not real arcade grade. But these 4 pounds feel really, really solid, really, really good. The next change I did, which I'm going to show you in a minute, is not only, I got the gate changes on both joysticks, and I have the button to switch it here. So there's a piece of software that GRS made that only worked with the Raspberry Pi and the RetroPie. And it actually only worked on a Raspberry Pi 3 or less, and I have a Raspberry Pi 5 in here. So the Raspberry Pi 3 is a 32-bit architecture, and the Raspberry Pi 5 is a 64-bit architecture. So been trying to get this software to work ever since I bought these gates, and it didn't work. I reached out to the manufacturer, and the guy who did the coding for it has been gone. They haven't been able to get in touch with him for 2 years. But I got lucky, and I hooked up with some guy online, and he had a Raspberry Pi 3 version to make it work with Batocera. Again, this didn't work with Batocera at all, but he got a Raspberry Pi 3 version to work with Batocera. We couldn't get the Raspberry Pi 5 version to work with Batocera. After going back and forth, he had some code from somebody and then realized it really was a simple fix. He rewrote some scripts, and I'm going to link the scripts in the description below. And basically we put it in and it works. And I'm going to show that to you in a minute. Here is the back of my Partycade. So you can see here I have a HDMI converter, which basically allows you to hook up your Pi to the original LCD screen. Basically you take out the complete controls, which is the whole game unit, and just discard it. You add this piece to it. It's pretty much plug and play. They have a wire that connects to this board right here. This wire connects right to that board there. And then you have an HDMI out and power. All right, and down here, it's a little bit tight, but you can see here, I got my USB controller for all my joysticks and buttons. This is my little card for my GSR gate changer. This is my Raspberry Pi 5, stuck in here in the corner. Got some room there. Had to add an extra USB hub because I got a Wi-Fi dongle here, and how to connect, everything is USB. So they only give you 4 USBs, one for sound. I got one for the joysticks and the buttons. I'm using one for the hub, which then gives me 2 other ports, which gives me the GSR and gives me the Wi-Fi. And then the other one on the bottom, which you can't see, is for the trackball. All right. Nice part is, again, they put a nice power supply in here. This was done from Aracde Mod. And if you look underneath here, you can see it. I got a nice on-off switch, and a real plug goes into it, and plug goes right into the wall. Okay. And then I have, when I put the backing on here, and this one more port, that will be my Sinden light gun. Okay, so that's basically, it's tight in there, but everything fit. Okay, so the replacement ball just came. See, it's a blue ball. The blue ball lights up. So I'm gonna go and put this thing in, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so one of the great new features that we added to this cabinet was the GRS gateway changer, which I've shown you, right? So both these joysticks, with the press of a button, will switch from 4-way to 8-way, right? So that's 4-way, that's 8-way. 8-way is red, right? So now that we finally got this software working on this Raspberry Pi 5, like I told you, I reached out to somebody. We were working on it for a little while, and then thankfully he was able to get this working. What happens now is you go in and you'll pick a game. So let's take like Miss Pac-Man. And if you watch the switch here, and I enter Miss Pac-Man, it switched it to 4-way automatically. So basically there's a list inside the program, and you can update the list and modify it for any game. But the GRS provides you with this list of all the games that are 4-way. And what happens is when you go into a 4-way game, it'll switch it to 4-way. Again, if I come out here, and now we switch to a game that's an 8-way. Let's see if I can find one here real quick. All right, Time Pilot. Time Pilot is 8-way. And there you go. It switched back to 8-way. So now it's just even better. I mean, I can switch it manually whenever I want, but basically now anytime I go into the game, or anybody goes into the game, it switches it for them automatically, and both will change to 4-way or both will change to 8-way. Okay? And then again, let's pretend Time Pilot wasn't programmed yet, and I go into the game and I know it should switch to 8-way. I can add it or delete it from the list to make it work correctly. So, huge improvement. Second improvement, as you can see, is my new trackball. So, again, like I said before, I was having issues with the trackball. I even had issues with this trackball. I don't know if it's a Batocera issue or something, but for some reason the X and Y kept going out. It wouldn't go. And then so I'm plugging it, I plugged it into my PC, plugged it into my Pi, but got it all working now. But the nice part about this one is it's lit up. It's a nice little blue ball here, as you can see. It lights up. I think it's a great little improvement. I really like it. Right? And then the last piece I did was, like I said, I put in these 4-pound springs in my joysticks. Very easy, you know, you pop them out as little springs, put them in. 4 pounds seems to be just right. I mean, they're nice and firm. They don't feel weak. You know, when I originally had them, they felt so soft. I mean, it really felt like, it just felt really like like garbage. I mean, I didn't like it. But now that they're 4 pounds and they're solid, I think it's really great. I think this is it. But again, so new trackball, new springs, new software. Thanks for watching.